Well, hello everybody. It's a sunny Wednesday here in Charlotte, and I found a book for you that I think you're going to really like. You might have heard it before, but I hear that books that you read more than once that you really like are called pizza books. And I have a bazillion pizza books because I like to read lots of books more than once. So this one is called The Dot. And it is written and illustrated by Peter H. Reynolds. He did both things. He did the illustration and the words. And the illustrations are pretty tiny, so after I read, I'm going to hold them up and keep them up there for a minute so you can see them. And when we're done, we're going to see if we can make a connection to this book. I know your teachers have been talking to you about that. Connection is what the book makes me think of. There are text to self connections, which means the book reminded me of something that happened to me in my real life. There are text to text connections, which means the book reminded me of another book I might have read. And there are text to world connections, which means the book reminds me of something out there in the world. So as we're reading, just think to yourself, what does this make me think of? The Dot. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. "Ah, polar bear in a snowstorm," she said. "Very funny," said Vashti. "I just can't draw." Her teacher smiled. "Just make a mark and see where it takes you." Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good strong jab. There. I think she's upset. Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, "Now sign it." That's an interesting thing to say. Vashti thought for a moment. Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name. The next week when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging over her teacher's desk. It was the little dot she had drawn, her dot, all framed in swirly gold. Dad, her teacher took her dot picture and put it inside a frame. I can make a better dot than that. She opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and set to work. Vashti painted and painted. A yellow dot, a green dot, a red dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with red, she discovered she could make a purple dot. Vashti kept experimenting. Lots of little dots in many colors. Look at all those dots. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. I like that one. See how she made the dot by not painting the dot? Pretty cool. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. Look at, there's the art show and all her dots are hanging up. Look at all the different kinds of dots she could make. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw," he said. "I bet you can," said Vashti. Me? No, not me. I can't even draw a straight line with a ruler. What do you think Vashti's going to say to him? Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle. See it? Wonder what she's going to say to him. Please sign it. Why do you think she asked him to sign his squiggle? What do you think? Does that kind of remind you of the beginning of the story when her teacher asked her to sign the dot? So when you heard this story, did it make you think of another book you'd read? That would be a text-to-text connection. Did it make you think of something that happened in your real life? That would be a text-to-self connection. Or did it make you think of something out in the whole great big world? That would be a text-to-world connection. When I read this book, it made me think of last year, I took a class where you make pottery, where you make dishes by spinning this clay on a wheel. And it was really hard, and I didn't think I wanted to do it, but I didn't think I'd be very good at it. And it took a while, but I just kept trying. And the teacher was very nice. She would just say, if something happened, she'd just say, try again, start over, you're fine. And eventually, I made a little pot, and it was kind of fun. But that's what it makes me think of. It makes me think of something that happened in my real life. So that's a text-to-self connection. So you could think of something that this book reminds you of. And if you think of something and you want to let me know, you can reply to this video, or you could have your parents send me an email at frosta@penfield.net. I love it when people send me emails or send me notes and let me know what they're thinking. I would love to know what your connection was. So that was The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. There are a couple other books that he wrote. One of them is called Ish, which is a very good book also. I don't have that one at home with me, but that's a good one. So I'm going to keep reading. You're going to keep reading, and I'm going to see you back here next week. And you take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.